In this lesson, we're going to talk about linear relationships, which are a specific type of functional relationship. So let's first talk about the characteristics of linear relationships. We'll look at these, just like we did before, as an equation, graph, and table. A linear equation will have no exponents attached to x, and of course no exponents attached to y, because then it couldn't be a functional relationship. So no exponents, and it has both an x and y variable. So like we said before, y equals x would be an example that meets all of those criteria. In a graph, it's a straight line, linear line, with no breaks or changes in direction, so a constant rate of change. Now, these criteria mean that it is a linear relationship. Remember, linear relationships are special types of functional relationships. So something that's not a straight line might still be a function, but it's not going to be linear. And last in a table, you're going to look for a constant rate of change in both the domain, x, and range, y. Something with a constant rate of change has slope. If it has slope, it's probably a linear function. So when you're looking at linear relationships, what you'll look for is a straight line and a constant rate of change. So what that looks like, a straight line might go up at a constant rate like that, but in this example, I'm going to make, you can see that I do have straight lines. Well, if I was using a straight edge, they would be straight. I do attempt to make straight lines here, but it's not a constant rate of change. I have a steep slope, then no rate of change, and then that steep slope again. So this is not linear. So that leads us right into a linear relationship is not any kind of non-straight line. Something like that last example, or something that is curved. Now again, that doesn't mean it's not a function, it's just not a linear function. And then anything that's exponential change. In the equation, it might look like x squared, or if it's a graph, it would be a curved line. So again, not necessarily not a function, it's just not a linear function. To identify those from a table, you need to know that the domain and range both change at constant intervals. When checking a table, make sure that you find the difference between each value to make sure that it is constant. On a graph, you're going to look for a straight, non-vertical line that's continuous, no breaks, and doesn't change direction. In an equation, you're looking for both an x and a y and no exponents. As you practice identifying linear relationships, use this checklist to go through and make sure that it either meets or does not meet each of these criteria.